Yes, I invented the MySpace. But wait, not that MySpace, not the social network from like 20 years ago, but this one right here. Look at it, check it out. So I invented that thing, okay? And I'm gonna tell you guys what it is, how I did it, why it's even called MySpace. And to be honest, I don't really like the word invented because look at it. It's like a simple piece of board with some fabric over it. But I think it sounds better, right? I usually say created. But if you guys are interested in either creating a product or white labeling something, private labeling something, and you want to know the process, you want to know what it takes to actually think of a product, design the product, get it made, get it manufactured, get it in your hands, and then actually sell it, this is what this video is about. So I think you guys are gonna learn a lot of things if this is something that you're interested in. A lot of great lessons. I'm gonna go over the whole process of how I did it. I'm gonna probably post up pictures, like drafts of when I was designing this thing and, videos and samples and that kind of stuff. That's part of the process. So I think you're really gonna enjoy it. You're gonna see the whole thing. All right, let's get into it. This is a 3-panel desktop barrier. So what would you use it for? Let's say you're at a coffee shop and you want some privacy, right? Or you want some like focus where you're not distracted as much. Boom, you put it in front of you on the desk, and now you have your little privacy and you have your little focus, and that's why it's called the MySpace. And I'm gonna tell you about that a little bit later. So the way I came up with it, I was at a Starbucks long time ago with my girlfriend. We were doing some work as usual, and I thought randomly, like, wouldn't it be cool if there was some kind of a barrier in front of you? Because sometimes there's like a lot of people there and somebody sits right in front of you, across from you at the table. So I'm like, wow, this could be kind of cool if you just have your own little barrier where you can create your own little space and you have your own sort of cubicle. So that's how I came up with it. And this was like a long time ago, maybe 2018, 2019. And it was just an idea at that point. Actually, my girlfriend came up with the name MySpace, right? Because it's like your space. And I thought it was brilliant, and that's what I went with. It was just an idea at this point. And to be honest with you, not something that I would personally use myself. I just thought it would be something other people would use. And as a side note, whenever you're creating, inventing, designing something, I think it's a good idea to actually be really into the product. And this is not something I would use, to be honest with you. I'd probably be embarrassed, and that's probably why I never really fully committed to it and never really tried to keep selling it after I sold out whatever the initial lot that I got. So anyway, fast forward to 2020, fast forward to COVID. It was maybe mid to end of 2020, and my girlfriend's like, hey, remember that idea that you had? You should probably actually get it made because it's pretty relevant right now. I think a lot of people would actually possibly want to use something like this. And like I said, I probably wouldn't use this, but hey, I'm a creator, I'm an inventor, I'm an entrepreneur. I'm happy to create something that other people want to buy. Doesn't matter if I like it. So I ended up pursuing it, and I ended up trying to get this thing made. I went on Alibaba. I actually created another product before this, and there's a video, maybe I'll put it right here. It was the Captain Hook, the luggage handle strap hook that I created. So I went to the same company, I emailed the same person. I'm like, hey, can you create a collapsible storage bin? Because I was thinking, like, what's the most similar thing to this? What came to mind was a collapsible storage bin. You probably have seen them at like an IKEA or any kind of store. It's sort of made with fabric, and it's a square, and it collapses, and then once you open it, you can store stuff in it. And I'm like, that's the most similar thing that I can sort of equate it to, because I didn't want to completely give away my idea, my sketches, my design. And I'm like, hey, I just wanted to know, how much would this cost? Can you make this? So I emailed the person. I'm like, hey, can you make something like this? I sent him a picture of a collapsible storage bin, just a generic product. And I'm like, how much would it cost? So we went back and forth. They gave me some numbers, some kind of idea. And then I'm like, okay, I think this is gonna make sense. I think this is something I wanna move forward with. Price seems okay. They said they can make it. I started drawing this thing. I'll probably put some videos and some pictures here so you guys can see the process. I actually put some together out of materials I'm gonna show you right now. So this is probably one of the first ones that I actually made myself. I went out, got some, I don't know, plastic board, like that corrugated plastic board. And I got some fabric and I stapled it, right? I don't know if you could see it, but there's staples right there. So I literally made this myself. And this is probably the first prototype, one of the first prototypes, okay? I have more. Let me show you a couple more. There's this one right here. You see I have the little handles on it. And this is exactly what I did. I envisioned it. I went out, I purchased some parts, and I literally just put it together. So I can take pictures and I can make a video and I can send it to the manufacturer. So this one has these little elastic bands. They're supposed to be really tight. And my idea was that when you have this in front of you, let's say at a coffee shop, you could put your papers here and you could do work. I don't know, you could read something, you could put your pens there, just like a little extra accessory, right? Extra type of utility that you can get out of this thing. So that's pretty much how I started it. Here's another one, and I even wrote the name out. So the reason why I was doing this, I was trying to make my own thing, right? I was trying to make my own MySpace the best that I could so I can show it to the manufacturer, okay? Because that's super, super important. So I was sending them videos and I was sending them pictures and sizes. It was a lot of back and forth because you have to be very, very particular. You have to be very specific. You gotta just mention everything down to the T, the exact color, the exact size, the exact fabric, what goes inside, the exact stitch, all that kind of stuff. So I went back and forth, and long story short, they said they can do it, and they sent me some kind of, I believe it was probably a video or some kind of pictures. And I think they gave me a price of about $4 each, which was a pretty good price in my opinion. Then I ended up asking for a sample. So they sent me a sample. They actually got this thing made and they sent me an actual sample. And now I don't remember exactly, but I think there were a couple of issues with it. I think these things were really loose and they have to be really tight to be able to hold, you know, papers and stuff like that. So I kind of told them, hey, these things have to be tight, and there might have been some stitching that I wanted changed. But that's basically how I started with this thing, right? So they sent me the sample, I corrected it, I sent them more pictures of what I wanted to be fixed, probably a video. I told them, hey, this needs to be fixed. And then I was pretty happy with what I had, with the sample and what kind of pictures they were sending me and the videos. And I was like, all right, I'm gonna place an order. And I think the minimum order was about 500 units that I had to place. And they were about $4 each. And I wanna say it was close to $1,000 in shipping. So I spent about $3,000 on the initial order of 500 units. And it was crazy. So they shipped it by boat, which takes about a month, or maybe it took like 2 months. And out of nowhere, I get this ring from my whatever doorbell, and it's a UPS guy, and I don't know how they shipped it, but it came through UPS. And literally I had to come out, and it was like a stack of like 20 huge boxes, and I didn't even know where I was gonna put all this stuff. So I got like a dolly and I started rolling a few boxes at a time to my storage unit in my building and to my apartment. And it was like 10 trips back and forth, and I had all this merchandise. I had 500 of these, and it doesn't look like a lot, but 500 of these is like, I don't know, 20 pretty big size boxes, and it's really heavy. Each one of these is maybe like 2 pounds, and that's how I received them. So after that, I took a bunch of pictures. I I put it on Amazon, and I started selling. So I was trying different prices. I was trying maybe like 25 bucks at first, 30 bucks, and then I think I ended at 40 because I was trying to make profit. So this thing cost me about $4 cost of goods. And I realized later that shipping might be a little bit expensive, but it wasn't as bad as I thought. It was about $10 on average. It was like $8 to $12, depending on where it's going. So that was not that bad. And then there was another maybe like $5, $6, $7 worth of fees. So I was losing approximately $20. That was my cost to basically sell one of these. So I bumped up the price to $40, and they were selling. Not necessarily crazy, but people were buying. And I think mostly schools were buying it and hospitals. I don't know why hospitals were buying it. I know why schools were buying it. This is actually an old thing. I know that they have these like paper dividers when you would take tests. So it's not like a brand new idea, a brand new product or anything like that. I just tried to make it nice, right? It had handles, something that you can carry, maybe something that is a little bit fashionable. I don't know. I would never carry this. I would never use it, but some people might. So that's the type of orders that I got. So I think I sold out of all of them pretty much within a year. So it was 500 units. I obviously kept a few for memory, but I was pretty surprised that people were buying these even at $40 each. I thought that was a pretty high price because you could get like cardboard ones for like nothing, but I think people liked it because it was made out of fabric, and this one's a little like funky looking. This might be the actual sample that I got, but the actual units, they look better. They're like, you know, the fabric is tighter, they look nicer. So I think people actually like these and they actually use them. And once I sold out, I decided not to reorder and not to continue selling them because I didn't really think that this was like a great long-term investment. I didn't think there was a huge market for this. I didn't really believe in the product that much. I didn't really know how to market the product, and it was really big. So that was one of the main problems why I didn't want to continue selling it, is because I would need a ton of storage and it was a little bit expensive for me to reorder. Even though I sold it throughout the year, it was kind of like a slow trickle of money coming in. So it wasn't something that I really felt was worth it. There was not that much profit. It wasn't enough money to be made. And I didn't really want to pursue it that much. So I hope you guys learned a lesson here. You can create anything you want. It's not that difficult. It doesn't cost that much money, and you can pretty much do it out of nothing. All right, guys, good luck, and I'll see you in the next one.